Start close-up, warm-toned. You're clearly distracted, phone in hand, shoulders carrying something heavy. You don't notice them walking in. You don't even hear them come in. You're sitting there, somewhere between your notifications and your thoughts, and then you feel it. That specific grounding pressure. A head, warm and heavy, resting on your thigh, and a cold, wet nose pressing gently into your palm, like a question being asked, very quietly. Hey, are you still there? Look directly into the lens. Soft smile. Most people call this needy. Most training accounts would tell you it's a behavior to redirect. But here's what I've come to understand. After years of paying close attention, your dog didn't walk in looking for food. They weren't checking if the leash was nearby. They walked in because something in them, some deep, ancient, biological alarm, told them that you needed checking on. Today we're going through 15 specific behaviors, some obvious, some so small you've probably missed them entirely, that mean one thing: your dog doesn't just live with you. In every way that matters, they have chosen you as their parent. Lean back. The energy of someone who's heard the wrong advice one too many times. Here's what the training world will tell you. If your dog follows you everywhere, that's separation anxiety. If they need to be near you constantly, that's a dependency problem. If they watch you too closely, you haven't established enough independence. Short, dry scoff. Shake your head slowly. Honestly, that framing is so cold and so clinical that it strips out the entire point of having a dog in the first place. Actually, wait, I want to be more precise here, because it's not that anxiety isn't real. It absolutely is, and it deserves real attention. But we've become so obsessed with independence as the goal that we've started pathologizing closeness. We've started treating the most natural thing in the world, a social animal wanting to be near its person, like a malfunction. And it leaves you with this constant, low-grade guilt. You feel guilty for leaving. You feel guilty for letting them get too close. You feel like you're failing some invisible standard set by someone who has never felt the specific weight of a dog pressing into their leg after a terrible day. Here's the messy, real truth: that clack, clack, clack of their nails following you to the kitchen at midnight isn't a problem. It's a language, a very specific, very consistent language that says, you are my person. You are where I belong. Let's learn to read it. Warm, easy smile, like you're talking to a friend. 15 behaviors, some you've seen 1,000 times and never understood, and one, right at the end, that happens in the last few minutes before they fall asleep, that is as close to "I love you" as biology allows. Don't skip ahead. The build-up matters. Soft gesture. If you're ready to stop listening to the training gurus and start listening to your actual dog, subscribe. Let's get into it. Hold your hand out, palm up, and look at it for a moment before speaking. There are two completely different nudges, and most people never learn to tell them apart. The first one is the demand nudge. Sharp, repetitive, usually aimed at your elbow or your knee right when you sat down with food. That's the "hey, I exist and I require things" nudge. That one, yeah, you know exactly what they want. But there's another one, slower, softer. The cold, wet pressure of their nose finding your palm when you've gone quiet, when your shoulders have dropped and your face has gone somewhere far away. They don't want anything from you in that moment. They're giving something to you. That is a check-in. That is a dog who has learned to read the specific texture of your distress and has decided that physical contact is the appropriate response. Researchers studying canine empathy found that dogs approach their owners more frequently during simulated emotional distress than during neutral states, and that the approach is almost always tactile. They lead with touch because touch, for them, is the most honest language they have. The cold nose on your palm isn't needed. It's someone paying attention. Slight laugh. This one is universal and slightly absurd, and you know it. The door barely closes before you hear it. The paw. The soft scratch. Or, if you didn't quite latch it, the slow, inevitable push, and then they're just in there, sitting on the bath mat, watching you with an expression of complete seriousness. Most people find this annoying. I thought it was just them being weird, honestly. Actually, wait, I had it wrong. Because when you understand what's happening, it completely changes how it feels. Your dog's protective instincts don't clock out when you go to the bathroom. In their worldview, you have entered a small, enclosed space. You are temporarily immobile, and you have reduced your own awareness of the surrounding environment. From a survival standpoint, that's a vulnerable moment. And they are not leaving you unguarded during a vulnerable moment. They're not watching you. They're watching the door. They're watching your back. Pause. Let that land. It's slightly absurd. It's a little inconvenient, and it is, genuinely, one of the most loyal things they do. Sit back. This one has a different energy, warmer, lighter. If you've never seen a full sploot, back legs fully extended behind them, belly flat on the floor, arms forward, you either have a dog who's new to feeling safe, or you're not home enough for them to fully unwind. Because the sploot isn't just a stretching position. It's a declaration. It requires complete muscular release, every single defense mechanism, the tension in the haunches, the readiness to spring up, all of it has to go offline simultaneously for a sploot to happen. Dogs don't do this around strangers. They don't do it in new environments. They do it in places and around people where their nervous system has decided there is absolutely nothing to prepare for. When your dog sploots in the middle of your living room floor and just lies there like they've been poured out, that is your home and your presence being rated safe, completely safe. I don't need to be ready for anything. Hold up one finger. This one has a specific moment to watch for. The mailman, the neighbor's car, the leaf that fell wrong. The bark is immediate and total, chest out, voice full, completely committed to the threat assessment. And then you say, in whatever tone you use, it's okay. And something happens. Not instantly, but within a few seconds. The bark drops in pitch. The chest comes down. They look at the door, then at you, then at the door again, and they walk away. The training explanation for this is that they've learned the cue. But that's not the whole picture. What they're actually doing is deferring their judgment to yours. They made an initial read, possible threat, and then they looked to you for confirmation. And when you said it was okay, they accepted that as more reliable information than their own instincts. Think about who you do that with. Think about the people whose assessment of a situation you trust over your own first reaction. That is not a trained behavior. That is a relationship. You are the authority they have chosen, not because you commanded it, because they decided it. Wipe your face instinctively. For effect. It's 6:47 a.m. You haven't decided to be conscious yet. And then, warm, slightly rough, enthusiastically applied, a tongue on your face. Possibly in your mouth if you were sleeping open-jawed. This is not a gentle alarm clock. This is a full system reboot deployed with zero concern for your preferences. The behavioral interpretation is that this is a greeting behavior rooted in puppy-to-parent food solicitation, and that's accurate as far as it goes. But in the context of a bonded adult dog, it's more than that. It's them initiating the morning, making contact before the day starts, confirming that you're awake and accounted for and ready. The dog hair on your pillowcase. The slightly questionable smell of morning dog breath at close range. The sheer commitment of it. All four paws involved, full body weight on your chest. It is the most unfiltered, unperformed good morning you will ever receive from any living creature. No agenda, no performance. Just, you're awake. I'm here. Good. Stand up. This one needs a little energy. The zoomies, if you don't know, are those sudden, explosive laps your dog runs around the house or yard for no apparent reason. Tail tucked. Eyes wild, making tight turns at speeds that don't seem structurally sound. It looks like chaos. It looks like a malfunction. It isn't. Zoomies, technically called frenetic random activity periods, are a neurological release of accumulated energy and, often, of joy. But here's the part most people miss. Watch where they go when it's over. They come back to you, not to their bed, not to their water bowl. To you, specifically. They crash into your legs or press against your side or drop to the floor right at your feet, panting with their whole body. Some dogs will do a full lap and then physically touch you with their nose before they stop. Like tagging home base. You are home base. You are the thing they come back to when the wild energy has run out. You are the anchor point of their joy. The pillow theft, they sleep on your pillow, not for softness, but for scent. Your smell, concentrated, is the most calming thing in their environment. That's not rude. That's comfort seeking at its most honest. The side-eye check, that slow look they give you from across the room, head still, just eyes moving, is a continuous monitoring behavior. They're keeping tabs without making it obvious. Exactly what someone who cares about you does. The whine without want. The soft, low vocalization that happens when you're upset but haven't asked for anything. They're not begging. They're responding to your emotional state with the only vocal tool they have. The lean in, when they press their full body weight against your legs standing up. This is physical grounding. They're lending you their weight because something in them reads that you need it. The toy delivery, bringing you a toy when you come home, isn't always about playing. Sometimes it's an offering. Here's my best thing. Welcome back. The threshold wait. The way they stop at the door and look back before going outside. They won't go until they know you're watching. You are their point of safety before the world begins. The post-discipline repair. After you scolded them and they approach slowly, head low, tail doing that cautious low wag, they aren't groveling. They're attempting to repair. They want the rupture fixed. That's relationship behavior, not submission behavior. The favorite spot surrender. When they're in their favorite chair and they get up and move the moment you sit on the couch, giving you proximity over comfort. Every time. Sit down. Slow everything down. This is the one. We're back to the beginning. The head on your thigh. The cold nose in your palm. Now it's late. The day is over. They've circled their spot, done the thing where they paw at the blanket 3 times for reasons that go back 40,000 years, and they've finally lowered themselves down next to you, always touching some part of you. And then the sigh comes, long, full, from somewhere deep in the chest, the kind of exhale that sounds like something being set down after being carried for a very long time. I want to tell you what that sigh actually is. Physiologically, it represents a measurable drop in cortisol, the stress hormone that runs in dogs at a background level almost continuously throughout the day. The monitoring, the alertness, the tracking, all of it is cortisol-driven, and it only fully drops in one specific context, when they feel safe, completely safe. Look directly into the lens. Pause for 3 full seconds. They didn't sigh like that in their crate. They didn't sigh like that on the other side of a closed door. They sighed like that right here, pressed against the one person their entire biology has decided is synonymous with safety. That is not a dog being needy. That is a living creature releasing the weight of the whole day because they are finally completely home. And you are home to them. You have always been home to them. Low light, slow, sit on the floor, hand resting gently on their fur, let them breathe. We obsess over so much. The right food, the right gear, the right command, the right reward, the right amount of exercise. We hold ourselves to a standard that doesn't exist and feel guilty when we inevitably fall short of it. But look at them right now. Pause. Let the silence sit. They don't want a leader. They want you. The specific, imperfect, tired, trying your best version of you. The one who stayed when it was messy. Who let them rest their head on your leg when the world felt like too much. Who learned, eventually, that the cold nose in the palm wasn't neediness. It was love expressed in the only language available. The fur on the couch. The clacking of nails at 6 a.m. The bathroom escort. All of it. That's just what it looks like when something small has decided that you are their entire world and they intend to stay close to it. Look into the lens, quietly, like you mean it. If your dog is doing any of these right now, I'd love to know which one. Drop it in the comments. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one.